died, y'all. She's gonna be like, Kara. She said it felt like I struggled to be authentic. Hey y'all, so it is around 8:30 on Tuesday, and I just got out the shower and I went to the gym this morning. So came back home, got in the shower, and now I'm getting ready to do my skincare and my makeup and then get dressed for the day. I have therapy this morning. This is my first session since, well, I guess it hasn't been that long. It's only been a month. So my last therapy session was at the end of November. And so I am excited to like catch my therapist up on everything. I need to kind of sit down prior to my session and just really take a moment to breathe and reflect on everything that's happened. That's why I really like going to therapy, because it forces me to like pause and be intentional about pausing so that I can really like, wow, like what did happen? Like what are the good things that happened? Or, you know, what were some of the thorns in my week, and, you know, the bad times. I'm looking forward to going, and since I'm not working right now, my sessions aren't regular because I'm paying for them out of pocket. And so I'm gonna go. I'm committing to go at least once a month, which is obviously not, I would go every week or every other week if I had my typical insurance, but I don't. So until then, I'm just gonna pay out of pocket. I really don't want to lose my therapist. She is amazing, and I feel like she's helped me grow so much, and I'm really excited for like the work that we can do this year. Yes, this will probably be my only one for the month. So that's kind of what's going on right now. I am just kind of finishing getting ready for breakfast. So I'm currently doing Daniel's fast, and so I'm doing oatmeal this morning for breakfast. Oatmeal, strawberries, and then we did, Morningstar has a lot of like meatless options. So we got some turkey, some meatless turkey sausage patties, which we've eaten these before because my mom was vegetarian at one point, so she would always just have these things and we would just eat them because they tasted pretty good. So anyways, yeah, that's what I'll be having for breakfast. Ooh. So I'm just going to finish getting ready. I'll probably just, you know, make this a little time lapse. I'm gonna finish getting ready. We will whip up some breakfast really quick, do my quiet time, and then jump into today. I have about an hour before my therapy session, so we got a lot to do. I need to like be ready in like 15 minutes, which shouldn't be too hard. Like I'm not gonna do too much makeup. I have been trying to somewhat get ready. Like I don't have to have like, I can wear like sweats and be comfortable, but like I want to make sure my hair is obviously done because I got braids. But you know, if I feel like it, I'm gonna throw a little makeup on my face. I can just make sure that I am looking presentable. You know, you never know. And it also helps with creating content, just because you're like, oh, okay, yeah, like I can create content today. Like if you just kind of stay ready, and not ready in a sense like you have to have on makeup to shoot content, but I find that I feel more confident and just more just like, you know. We are ready. It's 9:30, so we've got about another 25 minutes. I like to give myself just a few minutes to like connect, that way I'm not running late. Y'all, this Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm, it is so good. If you have not tried it, it's like thick. It keeps your lips moisturized, but also like provides that little, like, if you like the glossy look. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna do a little setting spray, but I'm gonna use my sister's because I don't really have any. So I'm gonna go grab some from my sister's stash. She has so much makeup, y'all. Let me show y'all this. She kind of went through everything that she's gotten since she's been at Sephora, and she laid everything out on this table. There's stuff all on the windshield, and then there's also stuff in her bathroom, and there's stuff in my bathroom because she's obviously given me stuff. But that just goes to show you like how much stuff she has. So I'm gonna use the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Spray setting spray. I've heard actually really good things about this one, and I've used it a couple times from my sister, but I really don't like, I don't use this one. Perfect. Okay, let me go grab my breakfast and then kind of get my day started. So I'll be right back. Guys, I'm getting ready to hop on to my therapy session. I was able to spend just a few minutes like reflecting on the past few weeks, and I kind of jot down like major topics or events to kind of go through, and we may or may not get through all of them. Just kind of depends on how deep we go into, you know, each thing. So I wrote down 5 different things, which I feel like is quite a lot, but again, we haven't talked in about a month. So I'm going to hop on here, and then once I finish, I wanted to chat a little bit more about my therapy journey, and also like give you guys any tips, tricks, some resources to help you if you are thinking about starting your therapy journey this year. So let's get this popping. Ooh, my computer went off. Oh my gosh, my computer died, y'all. She's gonna be like, Kara, hold on, y'all. Please come back on. Okay, it's okay. And I need to clean my computer. Like, it's disgusting. Like my screen, like the keyboard, like it needs a little New Year cleaning. Okay, come on. It's like thinking about it. Okay, so yes, we're connected. So let's go ahead and join. Hello, good morning. Happy New Year.
Yes. So catch me up. I'm trying to think.
I know, last time we talked was like end of November. Yeah, like right after Thanksgiving. So I just finished up with my therapy session, and I feel like it went really well. I mean, therapy can't really go bad. I think therapy is all about self-awareness and reflection and accountability and just discovery. And so it was great to be able to do that with thinking about like my last few weeks and just all that has transpired, you know, ending 2022, starting off 2023, kind of thinking about everything that happened over this past year. And my therapist actually asked me a question, and she said, what do you know now about yourself that you didn't know 6 months ago? And for me, I feel so much more confident as a person in my own voice, in my inner guidance system. I feel like just trusting myself and my decision making and not like second guessing myself, realizing that, you know, redirection is not failure, and it is okay to make mistakes and to explore new paths and to let go of things that no longer serve you. And that's really what 2022 was about for me. So I actually had taken about a year break from therapy. This is like my second go round with therapy. I first started therapy at the end of 2019, and originally when I decided to go, it was really just to see like what the hype was about. There wasn't anything that I was necessarily trying to like work on or like learn more about myself or just about like how I operate and show up in relationships. It was about none of that. I was literally like, I just want to see what the hype is about. And so like I said, I started at the end of 2019, went all through 2020 with this therapist whom I found on Therapy for Black Girls. So if you are looking for a therapist, particularly for if you are a Black woman and you're looking for a Black therapist, Therapy for Black Girls is one resource that I highly recommend. Not only do they have a directory where you can, you know, search for therapists in your area, or maybe you're struggling with a particular thing that you want therapy on, you're able to kind of filter for what it is that you're looking for. They also provide a lot of resources on your therapy journey and your healing journey and your self-growth journey. There is a podcast. They have a website with a lot of different articles that comes out. So Therapy for Black Girl is a great resource. So that's how I ended up finding my first therapist. We ended up parting ways at the beginning of 2021 because she ended up changing her policy and she wasn't able to see me anymore. And so I ended up taking a year-long break, and it was not supposed to be a year. I was originally gonna take a few weeks to research some new therapists and to jump right back into therapy. But honestly, like, therapy is very draining. It's very taxing, and the thought of, oh my God, like I just shared so much of my life with this person and now I have to do it all over again with somebody else. That was very, I guess thinking about it, I was very overwhelmed. I was just like, oh my God, like I don't want to do that right now. Like I can't think about doing that. And so 1 week turned to 1 month, turned to 3 months, turned to a year. And at the beginning of last year, 2022, I was like, okay, this is the year that I'm going to get back in therapy, because I really enjoyed my therapy sessions because it was a great outlet for me. It turned out to be a great outlet for me. It allowed me to really dig deep and discover things that maybe I had suppressed, whether consciously or subconsciously, and kind of bring those to the surface and directly addressing those things. Instead of suppressing the things that were bothering me, being able to address them head on. And so I ended up getting connected with my current therapist actually through a referral. So referrals are another great way to find therapists if you're not able to use a directory, or maybe you just want someone who actually can vouch for the therapist, because y'all, there are a lot of bad therapists out here. I have personally heard a lot of horror stories on therapy, and it makes me very, very sad because I have had two really great experiences, but I do realize that that is not everybody's experience. And so when you're able to get a recommendation from somebody who is a client or a former client, It really does help. My new therapist is amazing, and we started off with weekly sessions. So this is another thing about therapy is when you are first starting out on your journey, now that I've done kind of both ways. So my very first therapist, I started off once a month because of the pay. It was a little over $100 a week for the pay. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that's a lot of money to be paying every single week. So I'm gonna go once a month. Well, with my new therapist, she really preferred to see clients every single week when you were first starting out for the first few months. And now that I've done it both ways, I definitely can understand why she did that. We met every single week. And at first I was like, girl, I don't need to be meeting with you every single week. Like, I don't have anything to share with you. Like, what are we going to be talking about every single week for an hour? You guys, we ran out of time every single week. We literally ran over today because there's just so much that comes up that maybe you don't anticipate. And meeting weekly really helped us to develop a rapport. I feel like I was able to build trust with her faster. And it didn't feel like every time we met, I was re-summarizing our last session. So like I said, having this frequent touch base, I really enjoyed, and I really recommend it. If you are able to start off with weekly sessions, I highly recommend it. So last year in therapy, I wanted to work on number one, boundary setting, not just with others, but with myself as well. I wanted to learn how to develop healthy boundaries, but not only like developing them and identifying what those boundaries are for myself, but also holding other people accountable when they were violating my boundaries. I think that's the hardest part, is really enforcing the boundaries. Like, it's easy to have them, but when someone steps over the line, like, you have to be able to enforce the boundary that they cross and speak up about it. And so that's one thing that I really learned. We spent a lot of time going over the 6 different boundary types. We really went into depth about, am I rigid? Am I porous? Am I somewhere in the middle? Like, what boundaries do I currently have? Where do I see my boundaries at? How can I enforce them? What types of things can I say when someone does step over my boundaries? So we really spent a lot of time on that. Also in therapy last year, I worked a lot on my relationships with both my parents as well as my sister and my brother, and really just trying to understand kind of our dynamics and kind of what led them to being the way they are. What type of things do I want to continue seeing in those relationships, and what things do I want to change? Therapy and God are the 2 things that I can absolutely attribute my growth to. I think without therapy, I would not have the level of self-awareness that I have now. But without God, I wouldn't have this amount of faith and trust and hope in the future, because I know that God's got it, I'm not worried. I may not know what's going to happen next week, but God knows. And in that, there is a level of comfort that doesn't come when you are doing life by yourself. All right, you guys. So with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed seeing like a therapy morning in my life. I also hope that by sharing a little bit of my own therapy journey, that you are encouraged to start or restart your therapy journey. If you do have any questions or specific comments about my therapy journey, leave them in the comments and let me know. Again, we are a community and I want to be a resource for you all. I'm also, speaking of resources, I'm going to leave a few therapy resources down below that are great. Some directories where you can look for therapists yourself for your unique situation. I'm also going to leave a couple of journals. So if you're not able to afford therapy right now, I understand the cost of living is astronomical, but that doesn't mean that you have to neglect your mental health. There are a lot of self-guided therapy journals that are great for allowing you to address the kind of things that you would address in therapy kind of on your own through journaling. The only piece of advice that I will leave you guys with when it comes to therapy is you need to be honest with yourself. You need to be authentic. This is the one piece of advice that was the hardest to hear from my therapist. It was feedback. When my therapist and I first started meeting, she said it felt like I struggled to be authentic. Like I felt like I had to have the perfect answers for everything. I had to be this polished person. I wouldn't let myself cry. There were times when she'd be like, okay, I see like you're pushing away tears. Why are you doing that? I say that to say like therapy is not a place to go with the facade. It is okay to not have it all together. It is okay to be broken. It is okay to be sad. It is okay to be depressed. It is okay. Like if you cannot be yourself anywhere else, I hope that you feel confident enough to be yourself in therapy sessions, as well as when you are talking to God, okay? When you're talking to God, you also do not need to be perfect. It does not have to be polished. He knows everything that you've done, both good and bad. He will not judge you. He will not shame you. He will not punish you. He's a forgiving God. He's a gracious God, and he wants you to come just as you are. He loves you as the imperfect being that you are. So just remember that the next time you are in therapy or you are in quiet time with God, leave the fakeness at the door and truly be vulnerable and allow your heart to be open to what it is that you need to learn. All right, y'all, I'm really ending the video now, so make sure that you're subscribed to my channel, turn on the bell so that you're notified anytime a video goes live, and I will see y'all next week. Peace.